Welcome back to Wisconsin. Working on the 612 here. We took the top of the gas tank off. You can see all the layer of crap and rust down in there. That'll have to get cleaned out. It looks like there was some type of a lining sealer. It's all a little bit of white on the sides of the tank. And on the top of the tank, inside, there was some type of remnants of a little bit of a gasket between the two parts. And we finally got our surprise piece out of the inside of the tank. That's the handle for the cover for the side. Somebody had dropped it through the gas tank at some point. And this, I don't know what it is, bushing or whatever was inside there too. I don't know if that's even part of this or not. And then I haven't showed you either, on some tractors the serial number is stamped on the top here where the tractor pivots. But on mine there's no numbers, there's a T and a big space and another T, it looks like. Where some tractors the serial number is stamped there. And then of course, it matches the serial number that's on the tag there. Why mine is like that, I have no idea. I've never seen another one like that, and people I've asked had no idea either. So if anybody knows anything about that, I'm all ears. But yeah, we're working on getting the tank top off so we could prop this up a little bit better so we can continue on with our trying to get these two pivot point pins out while I'm home here over the week. Because that's the last two things we need to get apart on this before we can bring all the pieces back to North Dakota for me to work on over the winter. So I'll keep you posted. Okay, happy Tuesday. I'll get you caught up with what we've got done this morning here. We got 2x going up to the loft, tacked into place to keep this thing upright. We got our little press reconfigured with a pin on top of the pin that we're trying to push out, and we're going to go down with it this time instead. On the collar down below, so the pin will slip into that collar. We have successfully moved it back past flush, and it was stuck up before, and we're down, probably a good half an inch down into it now. So we are making progress, and with not nearly as much heat as what we were having to do before, we've been heating just this bottom section. That must be where it's stuck, because the top is taking a little bit of grease from the grease fitting. Here it'll squirt out the top, so the top is at least somewhat free. So we're just letting it cool down here again. We went through a couple of heating cycles already. Let it cool down and we'll try it again. Well, if this ain't redneck, I don't know what ain't. Moving the carcass of a bee over to the other pile. And get to the point where it's coming, so when it does that, the pin jumps, but we might be at the bottom of our, is that going to be at the bottom of the sleeve yet?
We got maybe a quarter of an inch, so we better find another.
We gotta find another longer sleeve. But it's coming. Here's the pin. Just about.
We got the pipe. Jeez.
Oh, I think I missed it. It just popped. I don't think I caught it on camera.
So close. Huh?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Our
she
pin,
must be out.
pin must be loose now.
Yeah, hey!
Woohoo, I think we got her.
One.
One. Yeah, now we gotta do the whole thing again on that top.
Oh, that's a good feeling to get one out.
Yeah, pull that one out. Oh yeah, pin's actually loose. Look at that.
Huh.
It'll come out of there now.
Well, we'll probably just leave it in there, huh? Help guide, help so don't,
Maybe.
as long as it's loose.
It
You
was.
said it was, but yeah, it wiggles. I would say leave it in there to help.
There's the pin. So it's really not as bad as what we were expecting. You know, it's, of course, there's rust and stuff in there.
Polish that up. And
The two holes are on the bottom. So I don't quite understand how the greasing works in that quite yet, but I was expecting to see
the grease
groove.
comes in about in there on the top, don't it? Or no?
No, it comes up here, doesn't it? Through the side.
Yeah.
So how
That
does it
don't
get
make
from there to there?
The ends aren't plugged, so there's not a hole going down the center.
We'll have to clean it up and figure that one out. You know, here's our setup for the top pin. You can laugh now, we'll see if it works. Got it hanging from a chain hoist just to kind of support everything. Basically, it's the opposite of what we did for the bottom pin. So we'll see if it works here now. Well, the top pin's actually moving really good. We got it to move quite a bit here. We just gotta
Just get that
get the ratchet strap off there to hold the jack in case it fell. Well, it's all tight now, so get that off of there. I had stuck feeler gauges in between this casting and that casting so we wouldn't potentially put any stress on those ears. Ended up wrecking one feeler gauge. But that's one casualty of war, I guess. Too much heat there.
I'm thinking this strap's gonna be cooked. I can't release it.
Yeah, that's okay. It was junk anyway.
It's so tight that it's ripping.
Take the torch to it. It'll come apart. Well, you're going to wreck the handle on the jack. Cut it off of there. Yep. It's coming. Yeah, we're just about where we can pretty much stop there. We're bottoming out again. The reposition. Now we can officially, woohoo! We got both pins out. So what were you saying? This one's different.
This has only got 2 holes in it.
And the grease comes in the top on this one.
And what was that hole for? Your linkage or something?
That's the throttle
chain?
cable linkage
Okay.
pulley.
Boy, that pin looks good though. And look at it, there's actually shiny spots in it.
Well, it came out easier too, a little bit better
Yeah.
shape. But it'll shine everything up and it should be good. And as far as we know, we didn't break anything. That'll be good. So now we can get this chunk off. Exciting.
Yeah, it's just dangling
Boy,
there now.
that was a struggle to get them pins out of there. We had different configurations and there's all apart, taking it down. It's amazing what you can do with a little bit of engineering. Chain hoist and some ratchet straps. And may not be the best or easiest, but it works. And all these, nothing's cleaned up yet, but they look really good. I was expecting a lot more rust and galling, but they're actually pretty clean. Same with in here. They look pretty good.
I think your wheels are off the ground on that side.
Okay, let's talk radiators. So this is my original 612 radiator. I'm getting ready to contact a reputable radiator shop to bring this to and see if they can fix it or not. This had previously been brought to a radiator shop by a previous owner and supposedly fixed, but I am not entirely happy with how they fixed it, so I want it redone. We'll start with what they did. So this is an original mounting stud on the bottom, and it is 2.5 inches long. They replaced this one and they only put it 2.25 inches long, so that's not right. And the way they did it is not as original. The bolt is from the inside. Looks like there's a plate on the inside and it's riveted to hold the head in. They just did it all from the outside, which, yeah, it would work, but I'm going this deep into this restoration. I want it all done correctly, because I don't see why there's any reason why a good radiator shop can't unsweat this bottom of the tank off, fix it as properly, clean out all the, rot out all the tubes while they're at it, and then put it back together. And then the top tank also needs to be repaired. There is this piece of kind of angle iron that is formed to the radius of the top tank, and that is what the hood mounts to. There's 3 holes. There's remnants of one there. There would be one here, and there's one here with the fastener still in it, and that's what the hood mounts to. Well, this half of it is broken off, and originally it is riveted in 3 spots as well. Can't see that rivet, but there's 3 rivets, and then solder it in place. So again, I think a good radiator shop that's good at soldering should be able to take this top tank off, re-rivet that on there, solder it back on there. There again, while it's apart, you can clean out all the core, and hopefully the core is all good. I would really like to be able to use the core over again, because it's the old kind with the actual round core tubes as opposed to the oval core tubes you see in modern radiators. There's a few bent fins here, but that should be able to be straightened out without much problem. And other than that, I don't see any major damage. Yeah, there's a couple little bent up fins, but you know, those can get straightened out. And hopefully there's not any major leaks. The top is just this is just a grease cup cap lid. So there's nothing really special about that. The original drain petcock is still on there, so hopefully that'll clean up and be able to be reused. Other than that, like I said, it's in actually pretty decent shape. It's kind of it's constructed kind of interestingly. The bottom tank is actually formed from the bottom plate of the radiator. They're bent down, and the tank is made from that. Same with the top tank. It's the top plate of the core bent up, turned into the top boxes. I'll give you a few measurements here just for future reference or whatever, if anybody's curious. So the tank sides are about 4 1/4 wide. The width of this radiator is 20 inches wide from side to side. The overall height from the top there to the bottom is about 27.5. The bottom tank is 3 inches tall. The top tank is 4 1/4 inches tall to the center, and about 2 from the point to the bottom of the tank. The sides are, let's say, inch and an eighth or so, inch and 1/16. There's 4 mounting holes for the fan shroud on the back of the radiator. And from the bottom, looks like the center of the hole is about 4 1/4, 10 1/4, 16 1/4, and 22 1/4. What else measurements should I give you? The lip here is an inch wide lip for that angle by about, what is that? It's kind of a funny bend, so it's about 3/8, half an inch or so L on that. The inlets are 2 and outlets are 2. That's centered on it. This one is about 4 1/2 to the center. The mounting studs. The spout is about 1 inch on center from the end. The mounting stud is, let's say, 4. Looks like they did the same there. I'll have to confirm this hole spacing yet. I don't have that part here to check. And I have to do some research on, in the manual it calls for 4 springs and 2 spacers for the radiator mounting. Well, I'm not entirely even sure how that is supposed to work, so if anybody knows that, please contact me and let me know. I'm guessing there was a spring on top, a spring on bottom, and a spacer in the middle, so basically equivalent of putting rubber bumpers in like a more modern mounting system. But if anybody knows exactly how that's supposed to be or what size those springs and spacers are supposed to be, because I don't think I have any of them. I'll have to dig through my little containers of miscellaneous hardware that came with this tractor, but I don't know for sure what that's supposed to be. So I think that pretty well covers the radiator. The fan shroud is here. Like I showed, it's got the 4 long bolts on either side that go through the entire radiator to mount it. This one is missing. There should be a little lip 90 degrees around this circumference here. That's missing on mine. I'll have to fabricate that. It is made by a series of small bends to get that transition from square to circle. They're square-headed bolts with heavy, thin hex nuts. The 2 halves are lapped and riveted together. And there's just a little 90 bent on top and bottom. It's not folded over or anything, it's just a 90. Same with the edges. There's no, it's just a straight piece of sheet metal. There's no hem on it or anything. I'm trying to figure out, there's some lettering on this. I'm trying to figure out what it says. It's 4079. It looks like it says something works. Looks like NCH possibly. Inch. There's another letter in front of there, but I can't quite make it out. And there was something written down below here too, but it's just the tops of the letters. So if anybody has a guess what that might be, I'd be really curious. I'm guessing it's the sheet metal supplier company. You know, that was the sheet metal, but I could be wrong. It could be the place that possibly made the shroud. I don't know. Pretty interesting though that of all the, or lack of paint that's left on here, that's still left. You can still see some of that lettering. So yeah, I'll keep you updated as we figure out how to fix this.